It's the Fab Four of the weekend. We like to do this on a Friday, kind of shed some light on maybe some of the juicier or compelling matchups in the North American soccer calendar this weekend. And as you know, this is a interactive show and an interactive segment. So chat, definitely put in your selections. You will be in the fourth pick for our Fab Four picks of the week. So Mitch, our guest of honor, can you lead us off? What's the first pick in our Fab Four of the weekend?
First pick for me is actually not MLS. It is USL Championship because tonight in prime time on national TV, ESPN2, Detroit City FC will take the stage at Keyworth Stadium. They are hosting Pittsburgh Riverhounds. To be honest, Rob, it's been a rough stretch. As I'm looking at the results here, there is one win in a lot of games, and goal scoring has been an issue. The last time out, the reverse fixture in Pittsburgh on June the 7th was a 2-0 defeat to the Riverhounds. This is a team that Detroit City has maybe not a rivalry, but certainly some budding tensions in the early goings of, the two teams kind of coexisting in the same environment, if you will. So I'm expecting a high energy crowd. Obviously, we know that's what's going to be popping off at Keyworth at all times. And the fact that national TV is in town only going to increase that. I would say, that first goal is going to be hugely important because taking a look at the run of form again, it's been a tough stretch for City. And, if that first goal goes in, vibes will be high, and I would expect them to carry that across the line to a victory. But if they fall victim to conceding first, it's going to be an uphill battle from there, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely been tough trucking for DCFC. They scored a great goal in a losing effort at home the other night, and you could just hear the desperation for something to cheer for. I mean, you don't often get a roar like that when you're 2 or 3 goals down, but I think the appreciation for an exciting move, a good counterattack goal from DCFC, and haven't seen a whole lot of joy in front of the goal at all. So do you think they'll put on a show for the ESPN audience?
Yeah, I don't see why not. And Soccer Night in Detroit in the chat says it's a must win. I think, yeah, kind of sort of is. When you look at the table, they're falling behind and they need to start picking up some points. So we'll see what happens. Again, I think Soccer Night in Detroit also notes 2 wins since April 19. That's just dreadful, to be honest. We got to start picking up some 3 points at a time. And yeah, national TV, hopefully get the boys going and turn things around here tonight. Still plenty of season left, but you're falling behind, and we know the quality that some of these other teams in the championship provide themselves. So big one at Keyworth tonight.
Indeed. Long ball number 2, or actually Fab 4 pick number 2, excuse me. Keep your picks coming in for the fourth pick of the segment, but I'm going to go with Red Bull versus Miami in a Major League Soccer pick, only because, as we highlighted earlier, Messi was stymied for the first time since May wearing the pink of Inter Miami. And you just don't feel like he's going to be held down off the score sheet for very long. Like, he had a couple shots that were saved midweek when he was shut out. And if we know anything about this player, it's whenever you think he's maybe going to get into a slump, he comes back and surpasses expectations once again. Red Bull, I believe they had a good result midweek. There were so many goals. Was there like 46 goals during the midweek matches? Yeah, Red Bull won a 5-3 barn burner midweek against New England. So plenty of goals in Red Bull. Did they spend all their goals? They're not usually the freest scoring team, but this is a Saturday 7:30 kickoff And looking at the table, this is a 5th versus 8th place. So a playoff matchup in the Eastern Conference. Red Bulls will look to build on that midweek win and enter Miami. Can they keep pace? They've got a lot of games in hand. They could well still be a first place team, but with kind of some 9 points potentially in their pocket, they look like they're behind, but in actuality, once they get all these games in hand played, they could be right in the mix at the top of the Eastern Conference. In lieu of producer Jenny, I think I'm going to take her pick. She tends to pick West Coast matchups, but it seems like it's the pick of the litter for matchups this weekend as far as top of the table standings. But San Diego versus Vancouver, two of the biggest surprises of the Major League Soccer season. No one saw Vancouver putting this sort of a campaign together. Even if they slide in the back half, the first half of the season, they were arguably the very best team in the league. And in San Diego, they are, we forget already, they are an expansion team. This is their first ever season as a club, and they are in first place in the Western Conference. Let me just try to slide over to the Western Conference, but Vancouver, they had an exciting midweek matchup as well. Let me pull up my Major League Soccer. So in the Western Conference, San Diego outright first place, a point ahead of Vancouver, a game ahead though. Vancouver, wow. They've scored 38 goals, while San Diego, offensive scoring juggernaut, the highest scoring team in the league, is an expansion team, Mitch.
And that's
San Diego with 46 goals for the good.
That was going to be my point, Rob, is they have led the way in terms of goal scoring, 2 more than Miami. And you're mentioning it here, you just would not expect that from an expansion team. Sometimes you never really know what you're going to get, right? It's that old box of chocolates, but I don't think anybody would have confidently predicted and staked their claim that San Diego would come out, lead the league in goals scored, and also be top of the table. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be a huge clash. And anytime, the top two come together, it's that old 6-pointer. So could go a long way in determining those West Conference standings.
All right, so we have DCFC versus Pittsburgh, Red Bull versus Miami, San Diego versus Vancouver. Now it's time for the chat to have their say for the 4th pick of our Fab Four here on July 18th, 2025. There's a lot of shouts for DCFC in the chat. What else do we got in here? I don't know what this means, Mitch. El Clamico, what could that be? Do you know? Is that another dirty one for us, sir? El Clamico, what could that be? What's on CBS tomorrow at 4?
I'm gonna have to wait for someone in the chat to elaborate, because I'm not familiar with that nickname.
And I don't want it to be something derogatory here, and I wasn't sharp enough
to live TV, right? You never know.
Oh, okay. So we had some clarification here. Thank you, both Soccer Night and Mr. Hunt. It is the Rhode Island versus Hartford. 2 teams doing. I'm not sure how Hartford's doing. I do know that Rhode Island made the USL Championship final last year, in their first go. But Hartford, I'm glad I didn't say otherwise. Hartford having a bit of a mare of a season, sitting in dead last in the USL Championship East. So they might have a bit of a time. Oh, Rhode Island falling off. They're in 10th in the East versus Hartford. So bottom of the table affair is El Clamico on the East Coast in the USLC. So that rounds out the Fab Four for the weekend. DCFC versus Pittsburgh on Friday. Red Bulls versus Miami. San Diego versus Vancouver at the top of the West in the MLS. And then Rhode Island versus Hartford, battle for the mines in the northeast of the country.